Okay, today's guests are an alt-rock trio out of Austin, Texas. In 2025, Bad Press was formed as a way to break new sonic ground. This breakout moment arrived with an invitation open for Bon Jovi at a sold-out show in April 2022. And they got the records label's attention with that, and were offered a 5-album deal started in 2023, and they relocated to Austin, Texas. But after a few months working closely with the A&R team, they realized that the sound that they wanted to bring wanted to be their own instead of adding other creative voices. So they chose integrity over the industry pressure, and they began producing and creating through their own inner circle. During this time, the band caught the attention of the producer Chuck Alkazian as well. Together, they worked on both the Skeletons EP and their highly anticipated debut album, slated for release in fall 2026. Here to chat with us about their latest single and video for The Science of Trying, which is available everywhere now, let's welcome Tanner Loach, Devlin Manning, and Sebastian Erdman from Bad Press. Guys, how are you, man?
Good.
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. So let's talk about the new single here. Let's talk about working on The Science of Trying here. Tell us a little bit about putting that together and how that came about.
Yeah, that song we wrote, I want to say 2024, in a little home studio in my apartment. And I think I had just been mulling over some chorus lyrics for a while, and then Devlin and I started making some tracks, and then had Tanner come in, and I think we knocked out that song in like 2 or 3 days, something like that. Like
6 total hours.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah, it came together pretty quick.
Yeah, the music video for this is really kind of cool. You guys are using stop motion animation here. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that and working with the artists you have. Cullum Scott Dyson, I think, put that together for you, right?
Yeah, he did. I believe he's South Korean based, and he actually reached out to another artist on our with our management, and Mike, our manager, forwarded us the email and was like, "Hey, do you guys want to work with this guy?" And checked out some of his reels, and it was like, this could be really cool. And no, I think the music video it's definitely unique, and everyone I've shown it to seems to like it.
Yeah, and he did another one for us too, but that comes out later.
Yeah, very, very cool. So let's also talk about you guys are working with Chuck Alkazian, obviously famous producing quite a few different bands, Pop Evil, Sublime, couple different ones. If you guys can hold those mics a little closer and kind of give us some feedback on working with Chuck. We talked to him a couple weeks ago. Seems like a great guy. How was your experience in the studio with him?
It was a lot of fun. It was challenging too, just because I think we were so used to doing things with just the three of us in our own studios, and then he came in and just adjusting to someone else's workflow and things like that. And sometimes he could be a little hard on us, but it all came out great in the end, and we love him.
Yeah, I think that's what makes a great producer, right? He pushes you a little bit more to get a little bit more out of you. And I've talked with him with some couple other artists, and sometimes folks are very, very headstrong on the vision they have for their music, and they don't want to take advice. How is that listening to Chuck and taking some of his advice on things?
Tanner.
It's great. It's good.
Because I know that's not always easy as an artist, right? Like I was saying, you have a vision of something you want, and sometimes you present that to someone, and sometimes they give you some good feedback, and you're good with that, and maybe sometimes you're not, right?
Yeah.
He has his own way of getting you to the finish line, and I think it can be hard sometimes. I mean, as much we love him to death, we call him all the time. But he in the studio, he definitely liked to insult us, and then we'd do something after being insulted that he liked, and then he'd praise us. So it was different than anything we've ever experienced, I think, and so it can be hard some days.
Yes, but rewarding.
Yeah.
So that was his motivational
Yeah.
way of doing things with you guys, I guess.
Yeah, it was a bit like a recording boot camp, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, but it was a really fun experience.
So I want to go back a little bit in your earlier history. Obviously, a lot of people would probably like to know. So you finally get offered, that big record deal from the company, right? So they wanted to do, what was it? How many records do they want you guys to do with them? Three records, five records to start out with,
Three to
and
start out with. Yeah.
yeah, and you guys started working, but it wasn't working for you, and you turned it down. A lot of people would probably wonder why that came about, right? And why you decided to bail on that one, right?
Well, I think why we trusted someone like Chuck was because his focus was entirely like, I want to I want to make your vision the best thing possible. And then the label's position was, I want to make it to where what I think you guys could make, like, I want to turn you guys into what I think was going to make the most money.
Right.
I mean,
Right. That's usually the case with both labels, right? They
Right.
see, oh, you can be the next this, or your mold is that, or you need to pivot to this, and we've seen that happen so many times in so many different bands, and sometimes they did it for a little while and changed back, and sometimes they just didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean they brought us. They wanted us to be. They said multiple times the next Foo Fighters, and it was just not our direction.
Yeah. No hate on the Foo Fighters.
No, we
but
love the Foo Fighters, but it was we were leaning more alternative pop rock than we were, rock.
Yeah. And then I think the biggest, for at least for me, the biggest sticking point was kind of they wanted our record to have, like, every song needed to have the exact same guitar tones, needed to sound very, very similar. And like one thing about us as musicians, I think, as songwriters, is depending on what mood we're in, we could, have a wildly different vibe, like song to song.
Yeah.
And having that freedom just to be able to, like, say, we want to do a slow ballad with country, country twang on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the next day,
experimentation was big for us.
right. And then the next day, do a fully synth pop song. Like, that's, I mean, I think that's so important to us to be able to.
Yeah, yeah. I think when you're starting out, I think that's super important to cover, different types of areas and things like that to kind of find your niche and find your sound. I mean, but if that's the whole gist of you guys is to try different things, when that's what you should be, right? But I know a lot of folks they experiment early, and yeah, like some of the companies say, they find that tone or that sound, and then you stick with it. And because I talked to somebody about this the other day. There's so many bands, when you don't have to announce who it is. You hear a couple notes from that song and that's Iron Maiden. That's AC/DC. Right away who it is. You don't have to be told. They have a style, they have a way of playing, they have a sound that really hasn't changed that much over the years, right? It's always the same. But nowadays too, there's a lot of experimentation going on with sound and tone too. Are you guys chasing tone at all, or thinking about that?
Always.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and even that was big with working with Chuck too, was that he was helping us, with the catalog that we brought him, that we've been writing for years. Um, Sitting in the studio with him, he really found a way to bring out our sound that now because up until then we didn't really know what our sound was going to be, and I think that's one of the reasons we turned down the record deal, because we just didn't know who we were at that point yet.
Right. They were going to tell you like what mold you fit into, and they were just kind of put you in that box, and that's what they wanted. You hadn't even come that far yet to establish it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we're always chasing tones, experimenting with new sounds and things now, but we have a basis to work off of since doing stuff with Chuck.
Yeah, and I do want to add, he was another great thing about working with him was he was able to wrangle, like we kind of said, how we have a lot of very different sounding songs. I think he managed to make it still sound like the same record and the same band, despite having, all of these different genres of music.
Yeah, I think that's a huge challenge, and that's very telling about your producer.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So I want to go back to another item and have each of you three chime in on this, if you would. Obviously, the big breakthrough when you guys opening for Bon Jovi, gigantic sold out crowd. What are your memories of that event and that happening?
Fear.
Right?
No, we were working at like the same
We were forklift operators at
Yeah,
FedEx
yeah.
in a warehouse, and one day before our shift, we're sitting in the parking lot, literally like ready to go in, and we get a call from Bon Jovi's tour manager saying, "Hey, can you guys play American Airlines Center in 6 days?" This is like 5 minutes before our shift, and we're
Now,
like,
had they lost their opener, or do you know what the story was?
yeah. So our one of our roommates at the time, one of my best friends, I've known him since we were little kids. He doesn't have Bluetooth in his car. He has a radio. So he's the
Wow,
only
which
person
not
I
many
know.
people have nowadays.
He's the only person I know that actually just listens to the radio. And this was many months previous. He had heard on the radio. It was a radio contest for Bon Jovi looking for local bands to open on his tour. So he very, very kindly of him just decided to do local bands as the only opener in each city he played.
Right, and that's what bands have been doing in the last couple of years. Yeah, they've been doing that type of thing.
And so he came home and he told me, "Hey, you guys should submit a little video. Here's the link. Just try it out." And I did, and then I forgot about it for 4 months.
Did you ask him where he had seen you guys or where he had heard of you from, or
Like,
when you got that phone call where you had to be surprised that their tour manager is calling you, right?
you're right. Yeah, no, definitely. And then like as she called me, I also got an email saying like, "Congratulations, you guys won from the contest thing."
Oh, amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was incredible. And it was 6 days of like absolute scrambling, making sure everything was gonna go.
Yeah, lots of practicing.
So you had 6 days to prep and to get there and get everything straightened out with your schedules and get a set list together and figure out what you're going to do with that. So you're there, you're at the event, you're getting ready to hit the stage. Can you communicate a little bit what that emotion is like? Obviously, a Bon Jovi crowd, that place is crazy for John Bon Jovi, right? They're going nuts. A lot of nice ladies in the audience, probably very close to the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was intense.
Yeah.
It was very intense. I mean, that was like, I don't know. I don't remember how many shows I had done before that, but it was quite a jump.
Quite a jump from the 80-person rooms we were playing previous.
Yeah.
Right. That's like right into the fire right away. How was the reception and from the audience for you guys? Were you feeling that reception right away, or was it difficult to kind of bring them in?
I think by the end of the first song, it was like they were with us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to bring the energy, and they're really good at reciprocating. It was really nice.
Yeah. It was also interesting. I didn't realize this was going to be the case, but you can only really see the first 3 or 4 rows.
Right. You can't see the rest because of the lights, right?
And then what we saw, I just remember seeing it looked like stars in the night sky, like how many camera flashes, and it just felt like it kept going up and up and up till, it was insane. And the other thing was we thought we were just going to go on at like, 4 p.m. and then there's going to be 2 other openers and then Bon Jovi would play. Our set ended 10 minutes later. Bon Jovi started. So like, it was like a full packed house, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah. And other guys have memories of that event at all you wanted to share with us, or?
Well, I can't speak on it just because I wasn't in the band yet. They had they had another drummer.
Yep.
So I wish I could.
Right.
Say I was
But
there.
definitely a very, very amazing event for sure. So I think what I was reading, you guys are in the middle of getting stuff together and to release of the full album, put that together. Is that correct? Is that where we are right now?
There was originally that was the plan.
Okay.
I think we have decided to just release singles every single month and just try and generate traffic and play a bunch of shows with some really cool people.
Yeah, I think we've just been writing a bunch, and we're kind of, I think, finding our sound a little bit more and continuing to work with Chuck. And so I think to us, it kind of made more sense just to get the music we had out as quickly as possible and, continue this. But we definitely are planning on getting an album together. But it'd probably be spring or summer of next year.
Okay, and you guys are gonna be shooting some more videos, I assume. Are you gonna do
Definitely.
stop motion again? Or are you gonna try some other things, or what are your thoughts around that?
We've got one more stop motion coming, and then yeah, we've got a bunch of different ideas for music videos, even some taking place in a junkyard in New Jersey. Still trying to iron that one out, but
We also have one as all of us are cowboys at my friend's ranch.
yeah.
That's be on the lookout for that one.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Very, very
It
cool.
was.
Very cool. So you guys got some dates and shows coming up. I think you got a festival date coming up. Some other shows.
Yeah. We've got a big one on May 9th up in Fort Worth, opening up the main stage for Sublime's Magusta Festival.
Yep.
Which is going to be really, really fun. And they're all in the Regime Music Group family, and we love all those people. So it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
But that's the biggest one right now.
Yep. And then we're just focusing on getting some local gigs and playing anywhere that'll have us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it. So one last thing I wanted to kind of ask each three to give me a little feedback on is obviously the rise of AI in music and art and how that's creeping into so many different things. What are your thoughts around AI and music generated content?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was actually just reading an article the other day about Berkeley School of Music, having a class on using AI to generate music, and a lot of the students were getting upset about it. And I feel both ways on it. I think it's only a matter of time until the music industry has to accept that it's going to creep its way in. I know there's a lot of people in the business that I've talked to that are very against it. I work in radio, and so radio doesn't want any AI right now, only human generated music. But I've seen I've seen some positives where you can be doing a song and you're like, oh, I need a saxophone player, and then you can have AI, you know, do a sax track and throw it in the song. But I think if there's a balance, there's got to be a balance for human generated versus AI, and it should be a separate thing and labeled. I think I don't know. It's tricky.
Yeah. I also saw, was it a couple weeks ago, that Apple iTunes is going to start labeling any content that's AI generated. It will be labeled as such. And I think you're right. I've talked to a lot of different artists about it, and the scary part about it is there's not really a lot of controls around it, right? Or what can be done, or how it's done, or how it needs to be credited, and things like that. When you're using it, it's kind of very open at this point. So I think that's what makes it very scary.
Yeah. I think for us, in our music, I definitely don't want to rely on using AI, just because we have so much fun playing music and writing songs, and I think it would take the joy out of it for us.
Yeah. I mean, I think AI generated music, it's here and it's going to get better. And I think it's honestly probably one of I don't know. I think it's the final nail in the coffin of musicians be able to make money off their music just by itself. And just kind of
That's where it could head to if it's not controlled. I totally
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
And I think it's just putting more and more importance on touring and live shows. That's how you make money.
Yeah, because it's
Selling
gotten so
t-shirts.
crazy now. That's the only way you can make money,
Yep.
right? Because it's the
Yeah.
streaming with this sliding scale of pennies on the stream is just crazy for artists,
Now
but that's
more
where
of the
that
pie is
is.
taken up by AI. So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get used to it too, because I mean, we don't sell records anymore. Everything's based on streaming, and you have to understand AI to know how the algorithm is going to push your music. But
Yeah.
because I mean, it's all machine learning. So
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. I'm very interested to see where it goes in the next couple of years. But yeah, like I said, I think it's just puts more importance on the live show because they can't replace that yet.
Yeah, yeah. The human experience, right, of playing live is definitely still a major event, and yeah, something that you can't replace. Thank God, as of yet, and you can't replace the emotion in a song from a human, right? You kind of can tell if it's AI generated. There's no emotion behind it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean the Gorillas did it back in the
Oh yeah.
mid 2000s with their animated band.
Animated band. They still played, right?
Not on stage for a while. Now they do for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But it was at first it was the animated band members playing.
Oh well, maybe we are screwed then.
Who knows?
We'll have to wait and see where that takes us. So, if folks want to check out more about you guys, where should they check you out on? Where's your socials and stuff like that?
Spotify, Apple Music. We're on Instagram. Bad Press.
Bad Press Music on Instagram,
Bad
Bad
Press
Press HQ on TikTok, Bad Press on Spotify, Apple Music, all your other streaming services.
We have a
Okay, yeah. So definitely check out Bad Press. And for more information, go to badpressmusic.com and check out their website and their music. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So that wraps up this episode of Talk About Rock. Thank you to my guests today, Bad Press, and to our listeners and viewers. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are.